This I get people from all walks of life who get in touch with me. I like this morning at 3 o'clock, I received a message. I just opened my eyes, and then I saw somebody who wanted to confirm a gig. For me, money is ultra important. I can make money, stop everything. Yes, take the money, deliver service. Because I always believe that never take it for granted. I have never forgotten my roots. I've never forgotten my poverty. I've never forgotten my priorities. I have a family, I have a wife, I have a kid. And no matter how much money I earn, I always earn, keep it aside, again think you're zero. So, whomsoever gives me money, if they have the money and the deal is mutually agreed upon, fine, I'll stop everything. My wife knows it. Like, even if we have planned an outing with the family or anything, except the birthday. Otherwise, that was her birthday. Otherwise, I've cancelled watching a movie. I've cancelled going out for dinner. I've cancelled spending time with my wife. I've cancelled anything. Client has the money, we do the work. Okay, so I got this young boy from Dubai who wanted to make his resume. Nothing but respect to him. I respect a young man who puts his money where his mouth is. He wanted my service. He told me he respects me. He paid me the full amount, and I'll not only deliver the service, I'll give him some extras, because I know for a fact he's a young man, and I really respect that. I really do. Okay, so the part that I want to mention is the part that is slightly disturbing, and the thing that is really disturbing is the lately I've been getting all these people who are 50, 55, 60, that age, who have approached me for my service. In fact, the oldest guy that I got for my service was 72. Okay, 72 years old. I was like, I come from, I had that mentality when I was young, that when you're 30 year old, then when you reach 20, you say, okay, 30 is not old, 40 is old. Now that I'm 40, I like to believe 60 is old. I have friends, my friend Suresh, I have 2-3 friends who are 60. I have a friend named Ali. I have a few guys 50, 60. We talk to each other as if, like if I didn't know their age, I would say that they're young. Like Suresh has 2 sons who are grown-ass men, and I would tell you, oh, shut up. I would say Suresh is like, when I talk to Suresh, I feel I'm talking to someone of my age, very, very candid, very relaxed. But the fact of the matter is, we are very aware of the fact that age, changes a lot of the dynamics. Like, your physical body doesn't heal the way it used to. Your energy levels are different. Your recuperation is definitely different. That is why someone who is like my baby can just fall, and her bones are soft. But if someone who is 70 would fall, they can shatter their hip, they can shatter their bone. So age does play into factor. That is why when you're young, you don't need to do any warm-up. You can just run and no need warm-up. But you ask someone who's in his 50s to play a game of cricket or football, next day they'll be limping all over because their body is not used to it. Why do you think I run in the morning? Why do you think I go walking and do these videos? It's like exercise. So overall, 1 hour of walking and 1 hour of running. So it's good for my health, the heart rate, the blood circulation. So at least I'm doing something. So the point I'm trying to bring up here is, when you bump into someone who is in their 50s or 60s and they tell you that they have lost their job, they tell you that they don't have money, or they lost their job, or now they have been laid off. Yeah, okay, when I'm speaking to them, I speak to them like normal. But after the session is over, I just sit back and I reflect. I like, fuck, what will happen if tomorrow I I'm useless. What if tomorrow there is no more demand for Loy Machedo? Which will happen? Which will happen? See, Tony Robbins in the 80s was like the god of self improvement, personal development. Anybody you speak to, they just wanted Tony Robbins. Ronald Reagan wanted, no, not Ronald Reagan, sorry, Bill Clinton. I think it was Bill Clinton who endorsed Tony Robbins. The top, Andre Agassi, that time he was the champion tennis player. Vanessa Williams endorsed Tony Robbins. The who's who endorsed Tony Robbins. Today, Tony Robbins is just a fraction of what he was. He is just doing these, he's become very business oriented. He is doing these sold out stadiums. In fact, you can make out the desperation when he has teamed up with internet marketers like Russell Brunson, Dean Gorza, something, Goiza, all these internet marketers who are, I mean, they're shady characters. But he's teamed up with them because they have a massive user base. He's just trying to capitalize on whatever is left, sell some extra books, sell some extra courses, sell something, so revenue comes in. So it kind of makes me very afraid and worried. Sheesh, I'm going to be 43 in another few days. As I get older, in another 7 years, I'll be 50. In another 10 more years, I'll be 60. Okay, in between, I don't know if I'm going to die in between, but as you become old, you begin to think like, fuck, what's happening? Like, I think of when I was in Dubai, Sheikh Mohammed was in his 40s. Fuck, today Sheikh Mohammed is in his 70s. My mentors, they were in their 40s. I look back at the photographs of my stepfather, my mom. They have become old. You really think like, fuck, what will I do? See, I'll give you an example. Like Brian Tracy used to be this amazing, he's the author of Eat the Frog. I remember those days, I used to watch his videos. Brian Tracy, Les Brown was a motivational speaker. Jeffrey Gittamore was a sales guru. Today, if you see their videos, they're so old. It's like, what the fuck, Janet Jackson, see what happened. Michael Jackson died. Steve Jobs died. I mean, we have, Roxette, when Roxette died, It Must Have Been Love, that song. Fuck, when Michael Jackson died, it was such a fucking shock. It was a fucking reeling shock. I mean, I remember in my school days, we used to put this little hair with this rubber band to feel cool like we are Michael Jackson. My generation used to watch cartoons like Centurions, GoBots, Challenge of the GoBots, Centurions. Knight Rider was this car. I don't know if you see Knight Rider. Airwolf was this helicopter that would go fast. Street Hawk was just a motorcycle that would go fast and that we felt had superpowers. The Knight Rider was a car that was black that could talk. Those days, a talking car was like cool, and it could go fast. And it had all those buttons where you So I come from that generation, man. Just imagine, I came from a generation where, I don't know if you know this, but Johnny Soko and the flying robot, giant robot. I'm not even joking about this. The robot, it's a Japanese cartoon. They go, it's like a puppet. It's like actually a puppet. And what that puppet does is, like, it's miniature puppets. So you see this robot, the guy wearing a suit, he comes, and from his hand, like, it's like missiles come out, like small little, you would just see Johnny Soko and the flying robot, and he would just he would shoot like that. Like his face is still. He would just, like, and when he had to fly, rush, and just this much, and he would fly up, He had two rockets at the back. And this boy, Johnny Suku, would communicate to the robot. It was dubbing. Come on, giant robot. And rush, rush. It would go like this, It's, Astro Boy was like Japanese dubbed Arabic cartoon. So, like, I remember the robot, his name was, In the 80s, they had these mech robots. So we used to watch that. Jumgar, they used to call him Jumgar in Arabic. And we used to watch all those cartoons like Gummy Bears, Happy Bears, yeah. There was a Happy Bear with happy stuff. Inspector Gadget was there. He was a policeman who had all these gadgets inside. So James Bond was Sean Connery. My name is Bond, James Bond. Oh, I remember those days where Amitabh Bachchan, I don't know if you watch Indian movies, Amitabh Bachchan was this Indian mega star, tall guy. Now when I look at it, I feel like, what the fuck, But those days it was like, yeah, bishum, bishum, it's like, ooh, used to always say. And Amitabh Bachchan's movies, Mard ko kabhi dard nahi hota. Like, the man never feels pain. Oh, and the Indian movies where when the guy kisses the girl, that time, what they would do is think this is a camera. If the girl kisses the guy, this is a camera. The girl's head and the guy's head would come like this. They would just do this to show they're kissing, and they would come like this, Or sometimes if they would kiss, they were this way, one flower would be shown in between, blurred, and then, so that was kissing. So, and the villain had only one job. Villain's job was to rape the girls. So he would come and he would talk all this sexual stuff, and the girl would, how do you know he's a villain? Because the girl would always shout, "Bachao! Bachao!" It's like help, "Bachao!" Ah! And the funny thing is, the villain's job was actually to chase the female. The girl would run, the guy would run, they would chase. That's how they would rape. So, and always in the ending, the hero would always kill the villain. The side hero who had to die would take 10,000 bullets. He would get like 20, 30, 40 bullets, but he would never die because, the movie is not yet over. And he would have a revolver, but instead of 6 bullets, it would be unlimited bullets. There's one where they show Mithun. There's one other actor. I know I'm diverting from the topic, but listen up. Mithun was shooting some bad guys. And then there is this cycle, cycle? Bicycle. He's hiding behind the bicycle. Bicycle has holes and, you can see through the bicycle. So, like, he's hiding behind the bicycle and then he comes up and he hides down the bicycle. So those were the days of Indian movies, okay? So I've been through all this. In my school days, I used to eat Hobby chocolate. I don't know if you know Hobby chocolate. Safari chocolate was there. Arij was a small juice, 50 fills. There was Laban Up. So my school fees was 60 dirhams. 60 dirhams is $15. Yeah, $15. 15 US dollars it was. And bus fees was 20 dirhams. Then Sharjah Indian School, my school that I went to in Sharjah Indian School, all South Indian teachers. My physics sir used to say the jig-jag motion. And my English sir used to say ABBLD, obble and banana. Loy, where are you? What are you doing? Loy. He used to call me, I was always Loy. And instead of Machedo, Loy Machedo, or I was Loy. Malayali guys is called Loy Markadan. Markadan is, I think, monkey. Or Loy, what? Louis Andoni Machedo. Loy Andoni. Yeah, okay. Anyway, so I have come from there. I've seen the complete transition. There were pagers. There was no such thing as a mobile phone. If you had to speak to someone, you didn't know who was calling. You had to have that long cord, that phone. We had something called a pager. I don't know if you know what is a pager. It beeps. If you want someone to call you, just call that. And I remember in school, one guy wanted to show off, so he came with a pager, Itisalat pager. And I was like, fuck, he has a pager, fuck. It was a big thing. So the point which I'm trying to make you understand is that it has been a phase. It has been a phase to go through all this. And I've seen people who were right up there. Now they don't have a job. They don't have anything. They're useless. My parents, stepfather and mother, they never saw these days where after having like 4 houses in India and 3 properties, today they are penniless in Mangalore. My stepbrother is taking care of them. They're penniless. So it's a sad state of affairs. So I constantly think about, fuck, I'm going to get old one day. I'm going to get old. I don't know if I'm going to be a vegetable. I don't know if I'm going to be bankrupt. I would like to believe that I would be well off. I would have lots of money. I'd really like to believe that. But you just don't know, man. And given the number of people that I interact with, that I speak to, I mean, like this guy in his 60s, he's getting a salary of like almost like what, $30,000. Now he's without a job. His company closed down. He was the top guy. Now what will he do? He showed me a CV. I don't blame him. He never did his CV. He doesn't know how to do his CV. And when I told him my charges, he was like, what? CV is supposed to be like 50 dirhams, 100 dirhams. So he was shocked because he never did his CV. Those days, just to make a CV was what, 10 dirhams, 20 dirhams? So the point I'm trying to make you understand is we all will get old. We all will, we'll all go through a phase where one day we'll no longer be, in demand or be strong or be invincible like we were. People are going to move on. So you need to keep this in mind that one day you will be old. One day nobody's going to want you. One day nobody's going to listen to you. Then the question is, what will you do next? It's like they say, circle of life. When you start, you need your mother and father to even stand. Then you grow up to be a man and you take care. Then one day you become old. Again, you become like a baby. You need somebody to take care of you. So when I speak to these people who are like in their 60s and they're still trying to work, and it leaves me really afraid. It leaves me really worried. I ask myself, like, fuck, what would I do? That is why I'm constantly reinventing myself. That is why I'm constantly learning new technologies. That's why I'm constantly trying to stay relevant. And I'm not forgetting my roots, because the day you forget where you came from, the day you let money go to your head, you'll be brought back to earth very fast. People like to believe that they're invincible. Like anybody who succeeds till now, anyone who has succeeded, oh, it's because of my hard work. I believed, I worked harder. But when you ask them about their failures, the market conditions. So the good things, they take credit. I did it. I achieved. But when losses and bad things, oh, he cheated me. Market was bad. They'll blame everything else other than themselves. They don't say, I made a loss. I made the bad decision. I did it. Good things, they take credit. Bad things, someone else. I don't want to be a grumpy old man. I don't want to be a guy who is, a liability for others. I've told my wife, the day I become like a vegetable where you have to take care of me, you have to wheel me around, and I'm like this, just kill me. Put me in front of the train and let me die. I don't want to live. I would rather prefer euthanasia than a life like that. So guys, these were my thoughts about getting old, and it's really sad. I genuinely feel bad for these guys. So just wish there was something that could be done for them. Then again, like I told you, I provide a professional service, and I can't start doing stuff for charity. I have a family to feed, I have a child to take care of. So anyway, guys, these are my thoughts. Let me know what are yours. I always love to hear from you. And do watch the ads, support the channel. Take care.